Okay, so welcome everybody. Thanks for joining me early in the morning for lifetime activities. I did put the Nearpod in the chat. So for those that you just jumped in, if you have another screen available or can jump back and forth, that would be awesome. But right now we're just starting, getting our brains warmed up. We're doing a Would You Rather. And here's your would you rather. I've only had one person respond so far, so I'd like to get some more participation. But it said, would you rather A, go to jail for 4 years for something you didn't do, or B, get away with something horrible you did but always live in fear of being caught? So what do you guys think? So I got a couple A's coming in. Anybody else? I think 40 years is a long time, though. I don't know, guys. Another A. Okay, very good. Oh, somebody put a B on there. Very good. Some B's. You don't want to spend 4 years. But then you're always in fear. It's not a very good would you rather. Anyways, it's always fun to do that a little bit. Get warmed up here. Okay, so just so you know, this lesson is being recorded for learning purposes. All right, so we got some brain fuel. We always start at the very beginning of this. You can mark some of this off as your activity log. This is what you want to do. Get up out of your seat there. Nobody has their camera on except for me, so it's all good here. So first thing we do is start with some butt kickers, right? So just get your legs, kick them up. You don't have to do it fast. See, I'm all ready for the day and I don't want to sweat. So, you can just kick your butt there. Okay, do that for 30 seconds. And you can even do it as we're moving on. Okay, arm curls. If you have some weights or something like that, that's always good to get some resistance in there, or bands. Bands are really good for resistance training. And so you just kind of put them in there. Just do the bicep curls. Shoulder presses as well. If you have some weights or bottles of water, just right up overhead like that. So you're looking like that. If you have bands, that would work too. And then also leg rotations. So what I would do here is go and get your leg and just pull it up. Whoa. See, I'm like falling over here. So get your leg, pull it up, and then rotate it out like that. Get your hips moving. If you do have some like lower back pain, like I have some lower back pain and stuff like that, that kind of helps with that and really loosens that right there. So that should get you going a little bit, especially with the morning, if anybody's awake. And if nothing else, drink some pre-workout, all right? Okay. It's always good to even do that just before you do like tests and stuff like that, to just get your body working. Okay, as we're going through the lesson here, a couple things. One, make sure we're following along with the Nearpod lesson. Love if you guys are able to. I'm putting the Nearpod link in the chat for you to jump on. Second one, make sure you're using the chat tools respectfully and appropriately. I mean, we're not going over any controversial topics or anything like that right now, so not a big deal. Also respond to questions and instructions the first time. Okay, a couple things here. Where you're going, where you need to be. So right now, you probably noticed I do put the recordings on the class announcement right here. So this is where you can find all of these things. If you go into course plan, see we have a class. Our live classes are the first and third Wednesdays, and then we have recorded classes. So we have one more recorded class, and then that will complete our class for this block. And that gives about a week and a half, maybe a little bit more to catch up. End of the block ends on the 17th. So right here, this is what you do. You got two things that you need to do. You have the weekly quiz, which we'll go over today. about ethics and morals in sports, and then also the activity log. The activity log, if you click right here, okay, some people have had issues. So if you email me and I just need to send you a Word document copy, but usually it gets you this thing. You just put make copy, and it will make a copy right there for you, okay? And you just put in, the date that you did it. If you need to change these days of the week, that's fine. Like say you did it over the weekend instead. And you just put your activity that you did, like, I just did butt kickers, right? The duration, how long you did it for, some things like that. And just really it's, your initials. It's all up to you what you do. And then you just go and you turn it in, okay, on this weekly activity log. So for those that are struggling doing that, I need to get those in, because if you don't turn in activity logs, you're not going to pass the class, because it is PE class, right? Like you need to do some exercise, okay? Particularly, hopefully get over your heart rate up a little bit, right, and elevate it. All right. So today what we're going to talk about conduct and morals and ethics in sports. So as we're kind of looking at this before, we have ethics and we have morals. And so ethics are basically external rules. They may vary between environments, okay? So that's kind of like your what cultural beliefs is acceptable, okay? And then you have your own morals. Your own morals are your personal principles. They rarely change. Usually kind of like what your kind of parents maybe taught you, or some people in your community that you've dealt with, and you develop these morals. And as you put them together, you have what almost like you think is your conscience, right? Basically what you think is right and wrong conduct, okay? And that's how you kind of live your life. And those vary from person to person, right? And so you learn these morals and you think this is the way I should live with my ethics and everything. So when it comes to activities, of course, some people are very competitive. Some people aren't very competitive. You have all different types of the spectrum. But there's something we call gamesmanship versus sportsmanship, okay? So let's kind of watch this video real quick that will tell us a little bit about gamesmanship and sportsmanship. Gamesmanship is more like the art of a sport, right? But it's doesn't have any moral value or ethics, right? Sportsmanship looks more upon the ethics kind of thing there. Okay, so we're going to watch this and then we'll discuss after.
Hello, and welcome to FMN Sports. Today's topic is gamesmanship and sportsmanship, which is better. I'm joined at the desk by Gary.
Hi. Thanks for having me, George.
I like your mustache. It looks pretty impressive.
Thank you. I do my best. Nice tie, by the way.
Thanks. So tell us, Gary, what do you prefer, gamesmanship or sportsmanship?
Well, George, I think gamesmanship is a much better style of play. I believe that if a team wants to win, they should do everything in their power to make it so. I think that they have every right to push the rules to the limit, as long as they are not breaking the rules, or get caught out. What do you think?
I have to disagree with you, I'm afraid. I think that sportsmanship is a better tactic.
Why?
I just think that, if you bend the rules and push the boundaries, it is unfair to the other team. Sportsmanship is much better because it represents what a lot of people stand for in sport: fairness, respect, and just enjoying the sport for what it is. Not trying to ruin the game by disregarding the rules.
I still stand by my belief that gamesmanship is a far more successful way of playing. One of the more popular techniques that is used is called breaking the flow. This technique is extremely common among professional level athletes, because it is easy to use, and hard to be penalized for. For example, distracting your opponent, complaining, wasting time, or favoring better players who are more efficient and experienced than new players, or ones who perform poorly.
While I do agree that gamesmanship is more common in professionals, I do not think that wasting time, using unfair play, or favoring other players is a good thing to show viewers. All it shows is what competitive sport has become. Younger viewers are even more likely to adopt this dirty style as their preferred type of play, instead of the respectful, more fair solution. Especially favoring other players, we should encourage children to use fair play, so that the whole team can have an equal chance at victory, no matter what skill level they have.
Players who are not of equal skill to others can prevent the entire team from showing full potential, especially if the good players are constantly being taken off because of fair play. This is the main reason that a team is most likely to adopt gamesmanship as its main tactic. This, then, solves all the problems. The team not only wins, it is easier for them, which keeps the whole team happy, even if you have to keep one or two players off longer than the rest. I mean, if someone offered you an easier way to do your job, with a better success rate, would you take it?
We let the public decide that. Well, it appears that we're out of time. Even though that we are still unable to reach an agreement about which is the better tactic. We did agree that there is no doubt gamesmanship is more evident in Australia, at least among professional grade athletes.
And that it is mainly influenced by the amount that is shown by professional role models, and the way it is used to promote success.
Thanks for joining us for this debate, and
All right. As you can tell, that was made in Australia. But I think it kind of gave some advantages and disadvantages of gamemanship, okay, versus sportsmanship. So gamesmanship is winning is everything. It is only cheating if you get caught. Maybe that's kind of a motto there. It is the referee's job to find the rule infractions. So you can kind of see like some people, if you watch different sports, you know, they may go right there. That was a fun video. I like that video too. I think it kind of did everything. But, you know, like people like being physical with somebody else or kind of skirting the rules a little bit, okay? But that's what the difference between gamesmanship. Sportsmanship, or some examples of that is like faking a foul or injury. I hate seeing that. Attempting to get a head start, tampering with equipment, convert personal fouls, inflicting pain on an opponent, using performance-enhancing drugs, taunting or intimidating an opponent, a coach lying about an athlete's grades, okay? You can kind of see right here, pull in, all that stuff, okay? Anything to kind of give an unfair advantage. The other one's sportsmanship, right? So being able to cultivate personal honor, virtue, and character. So you're kind of looking at what's the fairness, the integrity, responsibility, respect, just kind of showing respect for your opponent and everything like that. So something about there would be more like follow the rules, don't seek for unfair advantage, no discrimination, right, between different people, race, gender, sexual orientation. Referees are equal to all participants and cannot show interest in the outcome, right? And hopefully that they can, you know, we can all have a good time, right? And I think with lifetime activities, that's what you want, right? Not super competitive, but something that you're still going to be active and get out there. So integrity always seeks to do what is right, no matter who is listening or watching. So you have your beliefs that we talked about, your actions that you're doing, and your words. And I like this kind of diagram here because that's really what it is. I mean, you talk it, you show it, and you actually believe it. So the price of greatness is responsibility. I like that quote by Winston Churchill. It says, take responsibility for your performance and emotions. Don't play the blame game, right? Well, it's their fault. It's their fault, right? be up to date with the rules and regulations, and then be a good person on and off the playing surface. So wherever you're playing, just make sure you're, I mean, you can have fun and be competitive, but at the same time, show that respect to all. Okay, so show respect to teammates, opponents, coaches, officials, fans, and parents. Unfortunately, like, we're seeing more and more, like, I mean, you always have like those parents that are, yelling at their referees, or, sometimes even like it gets pretty crazy out there, right? So you just gotta be respectful on all those fronts. Some of this has kind of made headlines. There's different scandals that kind of go on. People are betting. That's what Pete Rose did. He betted on baseball and got a ban for baseball for life. Deflategate, that was a big thing where the equipment, Tom Brady, he lessened the PSI, so how much was in the football, so he could grip it better and throw it better in the cold. There's different other scandals that kind of go on, bribery, conspiracy, that kind of stuff. So some people are trying to get, their kids' grades up, and they pay teachers off to get their grades up. I mean, there's some really crazy things that go on, right? But all, I mean, just kind of be a good person, right? So that kind of leads us to there, right? Think about what your morals are. Think about what the ethics are in the world we live in, and then just do your best to choose what's right and wrong. Okay, so that ends us. The word of the week is conscience. Okay, so make sure you write that down. So conscience is the word of the week. As we look at the quiz right here, shouldn't be too difficult, right? Remember, you can do these as many times as you want. Ethics difference from there, so check 2 boxes. Okay, so you can go back to the near pod and kind of see that. I will open this up, so you can go to any slide right now. Fill in the blank. Gamesmanship is winning. Okay. The 4 virtues of sportsmanship are, right? We went over those. Equality is, and then the word of the week, right? The word of the week, once again, is conscience. So if you do all that, you'll get a good score. If you don't get the score you want, just redo it until you get it. Go back, look at the near pod, and go from there. So, okay, guys, that's all I have for you. I'll stick around if you have any questions. I got about 10 minutes or so before I got to get my kids to school, but thank you all for jumping on early. Hopefully you didn't fall asleep and you got warmed up for the day, for the rest of your lessons. So I'll stop the recording, but I will be around answering questions.